Hi, my name is Sydney and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years since I last made a video. But that changes today as I officially have more time to record videos for you guys. So be on the lookout for more skincare, makeup, story times like today, or just any other video that I decide to post, and I hope you enjoy. As you can tell from the title, this is the story of why I decided to drop out of grad school with only 5 credits left. But, you know, I decided that it's 2020 and this year has been so eventful that I want to live for myself and do what makes me happy. And I'm not gonna concern myself with other people's issues or let them project onto me what their desires are. And that was a really big step for me to take. So a little background on my school history. I got my associates in health science in 2016, and I got my bachelor's in public health in 2018 with a minor in psychology. So I already had 2 degrees. My whole issue was that I was looking for a job in my field, and I had been looking for around maybe a year and a half since I graduated. Not really since I graduated, but kind of like as I was nearing my senior year of college, I was applying for more and more jobs to try and like get a job in the field so that when I graduated, I had a job waiting for me or to go to. That didn't happen, unfortunately, and at first it was a little hard because I kind of was thinking back to my senior year of college, where you have to either do a capstone, which is like a really big paper, or a it's not a work study, like an internship. My only thing was I had a very large balance that I needed to pay, and I was already doing a work study at my school's bookstore, so I didn't have time to work for free. Like, I generally just couldn't afford to work for free. I was working at my like the bookstore, like I said, and I also had a serving job, so I was doing both of those, making payments. Like, literally, I think I had 1 day off a week where I didn't have to work either job, and I was exhausted. I would have like breakdowns at work where I would just cry if like I got like a bad tip and I'm like really trying, and it was very frustrating to know that I wasn't going to get the experience that my other classmates would have from working in a healthcare environment during the internship. I just couldn't afford to take days off to work for free, which I feel like a lot of students understand, but it was harder when I graduated and had no experience. So as I'm applying for jobs, I'm really looking for like minimal requirements, or just the requirements is like a bachelor's degree or something like that. A lot of entry-level positions, and you know, I was applying for so many jobs at the state, and a few of the positions, the requirements were very low. Like, it was entry level and they're just looking for someone that has a high school diploma or GED. Now I have 2 degrees, so you would think that pushes me up the ladder of what they're looking for. Literally no other qualifications, and it is so humbling to be denied a job multiple times that the only requirements are a high school diploma, and it really sucks. Looking for jobs and being denied and trying to even make it to the interview process was so frustrating because I have well, it seemed like everyone around me was progressing, and you know, like one friend's already working in their field and another one's like going back to like do more schooling, and it was really hard for me because like I'd have people being like, oh, so have you found a job yet? Have you found a job yet? It's like, no, I haven't. I'm still serving. Thank you. And I think one thing that was really hard was and no blame to her, but like my mom would always be like, so when are you gonna get a job? And I'm like, I have a job. I'm a server. But what she meant by that was, when are you gonna get a job in your field? Like, what are you doing? I feel like to her it seemed like I wasn't doing anything, and that I was just like just serving and like content with that, which I truly wasn't. I feel like I didn't really let on how stressed and anxious I was over the whole situation. It's like, you don't want to put on your troubles on other people when there's so much going on. But it was definitely hard applying for jobs and constantly looking for jobs and not seeming to find, you know, any help or gratification through the whole process. It was very stressful. It really did mess with my mental a lot. Therapy really helped with trying to work through it, but it was very difficult. The reason I decided to start grad school is, it sounds so bad to say, but it's entirely true. I did not want to pay back my loans. I knew that as a server, I was averaging around maybe, I mean, serving is so hard. Like, my fellow servers know, like, no 2 weeks are really the same because it truly depends on the volume in store. But on an average, I was making around 200, 250 a week. But my repayments would be like $300. So I was like, ugh, like, I'm not ready to repay my loans. And obviously I know now, like I knew then, but like in the moment I wasn't really thinking clearly. And I was like, I know I can say like I don't make enough. Like, you can, there's a whole process you can do to change the amount of what you would pay. But me being me, I was like, I'll just go to grad school and I'll just push off from paying my loans back, which is so stupid. Don't be like me. Make your own choices for yourself. But that is one of the reasons why I went back. And another was because I was like, well, I don't have a job yet. Let me see if I can make myself better qualified for these jobs that I am applying for. So let's do that. Let's put it on a resume. We're getting our masters. We'll stand out. And so I started the program and I was very nervous. I'm not gonna say what school it is because I don't want to do the whole affiliation, but it was like a quality care program. And I really, honestly, I really shouldn't have done it, but it led me to other decisions that I made down the line that I'm grateful for. So it's like pros and cons. The main thing about why I shouldn't have done it is because I didn't have a job in the healthcare field. Like, the whole purpose of the program was to like make yourself a better manager in a way. Like, you already work in a healthcare organization. You're like a physician or nurse, whatever, and you basically are being certified to like measure quality in the space, like have a healthy environment, stuff like that. I wasn't even working in a healthcare environment when I got this job. Not this job, when I started the program. And when I had my first class, I was like, ooh. Like, they're like, introduce yourself and how long you've been at your organization. And it'd be like, someone would be like, oh, like, I have been working for 13 years. I just had a baby. I'm gonna be doing this class breastfeeding and working. And I was like, hi, I'm Sydney. I'm a server. I have no experience. And that really made me feel less than. Especially because like you have these people who have been doing this for so long and they have the experience and they're truly bettering themselves to move up in the organization, whereas I don't even have one to get my feet wet. So that was very hard. When I had my first class, I was like, oof, this was a mistake. This was a mistake and I shouldn't have done it. And that was my first thought. But I was like, okay, maybe I can push through and I'll, you know, do this program, I'll find a job, it'll be easier for me to understand what's happening. And you may have think that was true, but then 2020 happens. So 2020, I am now serving and working as a leasing associate for an apartment complex, and I absolutely hate it. It's terrible. I'm stressed because it's not what I want to do, and I'm still serving and working 2 jobs. Like, at that point, I had been working 2 jobs for 3 years now, and I was tired. I would get up early, work 8 to 5, and then rush to my other job and work like 6 to sometimes 10, depending on like what kind of day it was. And then just having to go back to my other job, and same thing, having 1 day off a week where I just get to relax. And mentally I was really struggling because I'm frustrated with my life and feeling like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and then also struggling with this program, not really understanding everything, and like really just trying to pull shit out of my ass to do this right. And I was it was bad. Like, my depression was really bad, and like I would have good days, but it was so hard to try and concentrate and focus when I felt like I wasn't doing what I went to school for. And I'm still in school, and I'm still not working where my degree is. And I was just it was really hard. So as the pandemic was really starting to take off, I stopped taking classes. Like, I took the summer off because I was like, I can't focus knowing that I don't have a job in the healthcare field yet. The world's literally burning outside, and you want me to do my discussion. Like, mentally I couldn't work out and do school while our political climate was so bad. Like, it really was very hard for me. And my spring semester I didn't do as well as I would like to have done. If anyone has ever taken biostatistics before, maybe you understand, but it was really hard. And I did all the things you're supposed to do. I had like my first assignment come back, didn't do great, didn't do bad, but didn't do great. So I emailed my professors like, can we like discuss and go over it? And we literally spoke on the phone every Saturday for the rest of the semester. And I still did not do well in that class. I don't know if it was a mixture of like the math and science, which are both subjects I'm not good at, but it was very difficult for me. And I did not pass the class. And I was like, great. So now I'm gonna have to retake this class. And I started to get really stressed. I'm like, oh my God, like, is this gonna hinder me from graduating on time? But then in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck, I don't even care. Like, I literally don't even care. And there were so many times just doing the classes that I'd be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to stress myself out about this. I'm not even working in the field. Like, I don't even get this. And I would stress myself out so much with assignments that I was struggling with because, I've emailed the teacher, I've emailed the teacher, I've looked at the YouTube videos, I'm reading the articles, and I just still don't get it. It's not processing. And it's difficult for me to try and learn a concept without really having utilized it before. I'm like a hands-on learner. Like, I learn by doing. So not being in the field where I would have these skills was difficult for me to try and do the classes. So I decided it would be best for me to take off summer classes and just not do it, because I didn't want to stress myself out, especially with like the upcoming election stuff. Like, I was like, I can't, like, I'm not trying to do this right now. So I took the summer off and started back in the fall. And things were kind of okay, but I was still really struggling. At this point, I did have a job in the healthcare field. It wasn't what I wanted to do, but I figured it would be a good stepping stone to get where I want to be. So I'm trying to work this job and do my training, but the pandemic furloughs me for 6 months, and that's a whole other story that I could go into detail on. But as time went on with the classes, I didn't have any motivation at all to continue to actively participate. I just didn't care anymore. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I got to that point, because I feel like if I didn't, I would have just continued to stress myself out over something that I'd lost my drive for. And I really just didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to stress out and worry about these assignments knowing that I don't have the experience and I'm not getting it as soon as I would like. And maybe, some people could look at that as, just keep trying. But after applying for over 100 jobs, I was like, okay, maybe I'm ignoring signs. Maybe I'm ignoring signs that are just flashing in front of my face. And I'm just like, I'm gonna keep taking this class and doing this program, even though I hate it. And I genuinely did not like it. There were a few classes. I had literally one that I liked. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe it was the teachers too, but I remember I emailed my professor and I was like, I'm really struggling with the assignment. I don't have the experience that, my classmates do, so I don't have a healthcare environment to relate this topic back to. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to do this. Like, I'm really stressed. I don't know if this program's right for me. And my professor never emailed me back at all. I emailed him again about a different topic, and then he emailed me. Like, completely disregarded my little cry for help. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so that was my life. One good thing about the program that I will say, and it's like adjacent, is that while I was in it, I decided to take acting classes, and I just was like, whatever, like, I on a whim decided to do this grad program. I'm gonna sign up for these acting classes, and I loved it. It was so much fun, like the best 6 weeks, and it was like really eye-opening for me, because I realized, like, this is literally what you have always wanted to do, always. And I don't think I would have taken acting classes if I wasn't in this program. It was a way for me to kind of relax and escape for the 2 hours the classes were. And I really did fall in love with the craft and how scenes are put together, and like breaking down a monologue and like thinking about the thoughts and stuff. And I really don't think I would have done the acting classes if I wasn't already in this program. So that's kind of like a good thing about doing it. But good things come to an end, and I decided that this isn't what I want to do anymore. And I know it's not what I want to do. It's not even what I wanted to go to school for. I have always wanted to do something in the entertainment industry. So like, I really loved like e-news. Like, I think like interviewing like celebrities and stuff is like really fun, or just acting in general. Like, I always had a deep love for like movies and films, and I would like really watch and sort of like, even before I was taking acting classes, I would analyze what was happening. Probably because I'm like an overthinker and I overanalyze things. but I would just watch and I'm like, ooh, like that was a really good monologue. Or the set design and like the makeup, I've always found all of that stuff interesting. But the way I grew up, doing something like that wasn't an option. You know, like if I wanted to do like theater, like through like the town or whatever, I didn't even think to ask because I'm the youngest of 3 to a single mom. It's kind of unfortunate that I wasn't able to do so, but you know, I was an adult when I decided. I think I was like 23, 22 when I took my first acting class, and you know, I paid for it with my own money, and I was finally able to do what made me happy. And that's the way I want to live for the rest of my life. I no longer really care what other people think. So that coming to that decision was really, it was like really magical for me, because I was talking to my cousin, and you know, it's literally like last week, 2 weeks ago. She's talking about how, you know, she's stressed with finals, and I was like, same. And I had been sitting in front of my computer for like 2 hours, knowing that I had a rough draft due like on Sunday, and I was just had my articles and stuff ready, and I'm just staring at the computer like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't care. Like, I just don't want to do this. And she was like, why don't you just start your YouTube channel? Like, why not? Why not you? You know? And I was like, shit, why not me? Like, why not? I can literally do anything you want. There's this YouTuber, and his name is Nathan Zed, and he's really one of my favorites. And like on his Snapchat like a few years ago, he posted, I screenshotted it, and he's like, we can do anything we want in life, bro. Like, that's amazing. And every now and then I always think of that. I'm like, you can literally do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this program anymore. And she's like, you know, you're not happy. You've been complaining about this literally since you started. You might as well not. And I'm like, you fucking right. You are absolutely right. I'm not gonna do it anymore. And once I said it out loud, I immediately felt like relief. And you know, I was nervous to tell my mom and, you know, some family members, because I literally am like 75% of the way done with the program, and I've been doing well, you know, A's and B's throughout, but I just can't keep stressing myself out over something that I don't want to do. I don't see myself using this degree anytime soon, and you know, maybe I'll go back and finish it if I get a job that'll pay for my schooling. But if not, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. And it's so crazy because, you know, people are like, oh, you're almost done. That was my mom's thing, saying like, oh, you're almost done, like you should just finish. And I'm like, okay, are you going to pay back my loans? No, I don't think so. I also really didn't want them to get past 100,000. Right now they're not, which is a blessing in its own, but I just don't want to be in debt, cancel student loan debt, but I don't want to be in debt for the rest of my life over a degree I'm not using. So I made the conscious decision to discontinue school, because who knows, maybe one day I'll get that drive back again, and I'll finish up in the year that I have left. But until then, I am going to be making YouTube videos, which makes me very happy. And that's also something I've always wanted to do. I would watch YouTube videos and be like, I could do that. I'm funny. Like, I could do that. So now I'm excited to have the time to dedicate to film and record and just do what makes me happy. And that's the only thing that I'm concerned with now and forever. And it should have been before, but you live and learn. And I'm very happy that I was able to come to that decision because I feel like so many people live their lives and they're unhappy, but they don't make any effort to change. And I'm actively searching for ways to better myself and to just make myself feel good, because at the end of the day, the only person's opinion that matters is your own. And what I feel is that I'm finally just going to live my truth and be happy. So that's my story. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And you know, if anyone else is struggling about what they think they should be doing, just listen to that inner voice that you have in your head, because your intuition really doesn't lead you wrong. Truly just do what makes you happy. If you find that what you're doing isn't bringing you joy, as Marie Kondo would say, then just get rid of it, but also make sure that you are, you know, financially stable in order to do so. So that's really it. I'm so happy that you all joined me today. I'm intending on making another video pretty soon, so look out for that. Again, I hope you guys all enjoy and that you have a great day.